Welcome to Send Takeover. Let's introduce ourselves.
Good morning, my name's Hilary Scoshlas. I'm the Deputy Executive Member for Education, Send and Inclusion.
Good morning, my name is Mark Watkin. I'm the Executive Member for Education, Send and Inclusion, and it's great to be here.
Good morning, my name is Hero Sin and I'm the Director for Inclusion and Skills in Children's Services and equally happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Emma Lawrence and I'm one of your experts by experience.
Hello, my name is CJ Seife and I'm also one of the experts by experience.
What will you do to help stop negative attitudes so young people with hidden disabilities feel safe, included and understood?
This is such an important question, and it goes to the heart of people with young people with SEND being included in the community as if they are just like any other people. They have different abilities, but they have values and strengths which we should admire and recognise. So I think it goes down to the third part of my title, inclusion. We want schools to be more inclusive and see less exclusion of pupils in every sense of the word. The more you can be you as people with SEND can be part of the wider community, the more people will understand your needs.
Sorry, I was just going to add, I think what we can all do is sort of in our daily lives is almost lead by example and just lead by doing. And it's how we interact with people and how you just interact with all people. And I think the more and more people see that and do it and that just becomes the norm, then the more that will sort of expand. So hopefully it's something we can try and be mindful in the way that we deal with the majority, the lot of people that we deal with in our capacity as counsellors.
Yeah.
Thank you. So my question is, what's one big action will you take right now to make sure that everything you plan for us in school or the council is actually based on what we want to achieve in our lives and not just what's easy to provide?
Great question, CJ, thank you. And yeah, it's really important that we think about what's important to you and not just the easy answer, which sometimes can happen when people are in a rush and doing lots of things. It can kind of get missed and that's not okay. So what we've put in place so far is kind of mechanisms to make sure we're listening to young people through the youth councils, through the board meetings. I know you came to our board meeting just this week, CJ, and it was wonderful to hear from you. So my commitment is I'm going to make sure that every single board meeting where we've got the leads from across all the different services, education, health and care, and some really important head teachers there too, is that we do hear from young people on the subject that we're discussing that's most important to them at every single one of those board meetings.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to add to that. I think that this is an area where we haven't been strong enough in the past. I think your voices have not been as clearly heard as they might have been. And my commitment is to go and visit all the 10 SEND council, youth councils, and listen and invite you to talk to me directly so that I can hear you in those groups. Obviously, there will be other ways involved in engaging with you, and it's important that anything we do, make sure that your voices are heard and included in any responses and plans that we set for the future.
I was just going to add, I think it's important for us maybe when we're considering policies or we're talking about sort of ideas, almost to make a conscious effort to stop and go, hang on, have we involved sort of the voices of young people? Have we considered it from their perspective? So, and I think the more we get into the habit of doing that, I think it does need to be conscious to start with, and then hopefully we get into that habit, but almost we need it as almost like an agenda point. Every time we look at something, actually, have we considered this? Have we asked young people, and have we considered it, how it might affect different groups? So I think that's something we can take forward as an action.
A lot of the stuff that we see is documents that are feeding back from officers, and we hear from the Hearts Parents Carers involvement. They do a fantastic job. Equally well, we would expect to see a piece on there from you, the experts by experience, on what you think of whatever policies are coming through. So we hear your voice loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you. Next question. What will you do to make sure schools and services feel like a safe place for young people who mask their difficulties all day and feel exhausted or overwhelmed?
So this is an easy answer to give, but a very difficult answer to ensure, because every school is an independent operation in its own way. Its culture depends so much on the head teacher and on the environment that that head teacher sets for the schools. Some schools are superb, some schools have still got a journey to travel on, and what we will be doing is trying to build up the sense of everybody should be included. We'll be launching something called an Inclusion Alliance, which is to really show good examples to other schools which aren't yet delivering as much as we would like them to do. So it's a journey and it will take some time, but we absolutely understand why you need to be seen as just a normal part of their community.
Yeah, no, great question. Thank you. I have the privilege of being able to hear from you, but also to hear from many, many school leaders across the county. So I spend time every single day with school leaders from across the county. And so how I will make sure that it feels like a safe place for everyone, actually, but particularly for those with hidden disabilities, as you've asked, is by raising that awareness of the issue, making sure we've got the right training in place for our schools and the right support services in place for our schools as well. I listen to a lot of feedback which says, on this particular area of need, we're really good and we know and we're clear on what we need to do. But on this area of need, we're not so sure. We're not too sure about this, and therefore we need some extra help. And it's my job to make sure that help is in place at the right time for schools so they can be empowered to deliver for our young people.
I'm just going to add to that. I think at the school level, it's the importance of relationships and importance of students knowing there's someone they can go and talk to. It doesn't need to necessarily be their class teacher or whoever it is, but that there is someone open and available to them to go and talk to. So I think some schools, we say, do a fantastic job of that. Other schools, maybe there's a bit of a journey, but I think as a general sort of concept, the idea of building those relationships, so every student knows there is someone they can go and speak to about anything.
Thank you. Following that, I have another question. How will you make sure that staff who don't understand hidden disabilities get the training and support they need rather than leaving young people to explain themselves over and over again?
It probably links to my previous answer a little bit. We make sure that we have the right experts in place. So starting with you guys, our experts by experience, telling us about the experiences is really, really important. And even the difficult ones, even the really, really challenging ones, the more that they can be shared, the more we can learn from that, and we can feed that into our specialist services. So our educational psychology service, our specialist teaching service, our HFL, who provide lots of training for schools to make sure that we're providing the right training at the right time. And similarly for our own staff, because lots of people kind of get bogged down with their day-to-day job and there's lots going on, there's lots of pressures, but it's really important to remember our why we do what we do. And it's for you guys and for all the young people that you represent. So making sure that we're also upskilling, training, working with our own staff and services as well.
I mean, it's worth saying that the county council has said everyone's business, which is a way of getting that message across to all teams in all areas. But the biggest challenge still comes back to schools, it seems to me, because that's where day to day children or young people we send are going to be experiencing that kind of relationship, and we need work to do there to make sure that teachers understand and are sympathetic. The staff in those schools are sympathetic and understanding and treat you just like they would treat any other student.
We're all human and we don't know what we don't know. So, everybody sort of has blind spots or just not aware of certain things. So I think it is through training and through discussion and being open and talking about things that it suddenly makes you go, oh, hang on, I hadn't thought of that, or I hadn't considered it from this way. So I think it is the training and it's the general sort of environment of discussion and openness and conversation, and hopefully then gets people thinking about maybe aspects that they just hadn't considered before.